Welcome to KevJet the podcast, Omar, founder of the LGBTQ Drinking Club here in London. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So tell me, first of all, where are you from and what brought you to London?
Okay, my life story. I was born in Singapore. When I was 24, I graduated uni and I was like, hey, I need to leave this country. And it's because my mother is British, so I could easily get British citizenship. I booked a one-way ticket to the UK and stayed in Lincolnshire, which is where my grandparents' house was, for 9 months. And then my aunt was like, okay, now that you have your citizenship, you need to get out. You need to find a job and live on your own. I was like, okay, fine. So according to her deadline, no, 2 months, to find a job. And I was like really desperate. I was like applying to different places around the UK. I was applying to places in Manchester and Leeds. But the first one that took me in was London. And yeah, so that's my story so far.
Did you feel like you were running away from something, or did you feel like you were running towards something?
I think it's both. I think there's definitely, whenever you move to a new country, there's always the push factor and the pull factor. The push factor for me in Singapore is that I knew I could never get married. Like I've always had dreams of like finding a lifelong partner, getting married, having babies, maybe. Well, that's still up in the air, but yeah, I just wanted a life, like a queer life with my man. And I knew that wasn't possible in Singapore. So that was the push factor. The pull factor was the UK is pretty liberal, English speaking. Culturally, I feel connected to the UK because my mom's British and I was kind of raised mostly by her. Yeah, that's what brought me to the UK.
What was your first 24 hours like when you were in London? Was it overwhelming at all? Or?
Oh my God, it was crazy. So there were train strikes on the day that I landed in London. I think it was either like Gatwick or Luton. So there were no trains to get from the airport into London. I had all my life possessions with me, all in a suitcase. Like, hey, how do I get to London without a train? So I had to take a bus. I took the bus into London. Then I got uh, what's it called, a tram from like South London to my Airbnb, and that it took I think maybe 6 or 10 hours longer than what it was supposed to be.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Welcome to London. At least you got to experience the real deal.
true, true.
What's something about moving to London that you weren't warned about, but you wish you had been? Train
Um,
strikes.
Train strikes. Oh my God. I feel like when I came to London, I was expecting it to be a lot worse than it was. All of my previous experiences in London, like I was a tourist, only spent a few days in London, and like it was like really hard for me back then because I was like really broke. Like I didn't really have that much money. It was like really hard to appreciate London for what it was without money to like access different places.
Did you like the surprise element, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Like I feel like I'm somebody who doesn't really have many regrets about anything. I think even if you do make mistakes, the learnings from it help you become like the person you are today. I don't know. I feel like even if something bad happens, I think I wouldn't have wished someone warned me. Okay, well, okay, one thing. Maybe don't sleep on the tube at night.
Yeah, that sounds
'Cause
good.
like I got my phone stolen by I think she was homeless, rough sleeper. Uh, but it was kind of on me because I was asleep. I just had my phone out like that probably. But I did get it back because I negotiated with her. I pulled out like £15 and I was like, if you give me my phone back, I'll give you £15. And then she did
You don't hear that too often in London, I'll tell you that.
it.
So you get to London and you want to find your tribe, you want to find your people.
Yeah.
How easy was that for you?
It really took a lot of trial and error, for real. One of the first things I did when I got to London was like join an exercise group. I was on ClassPass and I was like looking at different classes on the app, and one of these classes was called Rabble, and you kind of play these PE games with other adults. So it's games that you'd play in primary school, but made for adults. I really enjoyed that because it wasn't too serious. You didn't have people who are like really competitive. Everyone was just kind of there for the same reason. They just want to be fit and have fun. And like I think it attracted like a very specific type of person. I think Rabblers are very easygoing, non-competitive, and they're all kind of looking for the same thing. Most of them are like new to London and they're trying to find their own community. Like I feel with Rabble, like people don't even realize that they were lonely until they join. I feel like people come for the exercise and then stay for the community because there's so much to do. Like there's so many community events. There's such a strong community culture with Rabble. That's kind of how I found my first family in London is through like these people that I played sports with that I like found people to go nights out drinking with. We even went to like the Peak District together on a trip. We went on hiking trips. Yeah, like, but even though I love this community, like most of them were straight, a lot of them couldn't really relate to my experiences or they couldn't really relate to like the pain points of being gay, like all the nuances of it. Like I tried finding queer community, but like I wasn't very successful. So I had to start my own.
Did you ever have moments where you felt completely alone in this big city?
In the first few months, even though I had Rabble, like I didn't really have strong, super close friendships yet. I think friendships take time to develop. So in those first few months, I didn't really have anyone to like text and like, be like, "Hey, do you want to go out for a drink?" Blah, blah. After work, I would just kind of go home and then continue working because I was just so bored. I didn't have anything else to do, and I was also like really anxious about losing my job at the time. It was really rough. Like I was going through these OCD, intrusive thoughts. It was only recently that I found out that they were OCD intrusive thoughts because back then I just thought I was like, leaking or really stressed. But looking back now, like talking to my therapist, like I realized that I was not doing well.
Do you think that all it comes with stress of like moving to a new city, a new country?
Definitely, like I feel like London is like the place where that happens a lot because London is such a transient city. A lot of people are moving here for like economic opportunities. Most people that you meet in London are not from London. I feel like a lot of people are experiencing that kind of loneliness, but like they're experiencing it by themselves and they're not really like I've met so many people at my community who've like gone through the same story. Like I moved to London, can't find anybody to talk to. I just feel really, really alone. Like I think you can never have too many queer spaces or like friendship spaces to find new people and network. Well, not network. I think network is like not the word I would associate with my community. I feel like networking is more like you're trying to gain something through a relationship. But I think with my community, I want to foster genuine friendships, people who actually really want to talk to you, want to be your friend, want to be by your side. That's the kind of relationships I'm trying to foster in my community.
Did you come up with the idea and how did you make the first meetup happen?
So I was inspired by the different meetups that I went to that I was trialing, trying to find friends in London. So the first one was called the London Drinking Club, and that was set up by this girl called Busy about 4 years ago. And she did an amazing job. Like she kind of started it by just getting three of her friends to come to a pub and getting her friends to invite other people as a challenge. And it kind of just like snowballed from there. And she had hundreds and hundreds of people like show up to her meetups. I was really inspired by it because she did it every Tuesday at the same time, same place. And I think that reoccurring events like that, where you can expect to see the same people over and over again and building that into your routine really helps to foster friendships because I did meet friends from that meetup and it's really because I saw you at the previous meetup. Let's continue. Like, how have you been since then? And yeah, I was really inspired by the fact that she kind of just created it out of nothing. She has no overhead costs. The only thing that she kind of paid for was a sticker. Like,
And that's it's kind of the joys of it.
yeah, literally, yeah. So like she did really well on TikTok and I was like, yeah, I could do this. But the reason why I thought it wasn't enough for me was because it was mostly like straight people. And I feel like if you're a queer person in London looking for friendships, you need to feel safe. You need like a safe space to like really be yourself and to really feel like the people there are like welcoming you with open arms. I feel like I can talk to straight people pretty easily, but I think there are a lot of people who might have some kind of trauma with like straight people and only want to hang out with queer people. So that's kind of like the environment that I wanted to create.
And so it's open to the whole rainbow of colors.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's also like a differentiating factor for me compared to other queer meetups in London. I feel like there are a lot of gay men only meetups, lesbian meetups, bi meetups, trans meetups, which I think is great because when you really relate, I think it's great to really find people who you really relate to. But I think that as a queer community and as the LGBTQ community, we're so much stronger together. I just think that there is an existential threat coming along with reform and like with the far right in the US. Far right ideologies are making its way through Europe and through the UK. And I think that we as a queer community kind of need to band together and like protect each other. They're already attacking trans people. Like it's only a matter of time before like they try getting the rest of us, you know? So I think that forming friendships and connections as like a queer community, not just like lesbians one side, gay people one side, but like all of us being together can really help us strengthen everybody and bring everybody up. And one fact, like one point in history that really like resonated with me was when during the AIDS pandemic back in the day, even though I wasn't born at the time, but just seeing the stories of how the lesbians were like taking care of gay men during their time of need was like so like it really changed like my view of like the LGBTQ community because like even though like gay men at the time might not have like been super inclusive to women or super inclusive to lesbians, during their time of need, lesbians came in and took care of them. And I thought that was so beautiful. And I think with the far right coming, we need to be as close together as possible, I think.
Agreed. I think as soon as you start excluding anybody, you weaken your chain.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
exactly.
you
Oh,
definitely do. There's power in the people.
what?
Tell me about your first meetup. How did that go?
Okay, so nobody showed up to my first meetup. I had advertised it on the meetup app and I got about 40 signups, but on the day itself, nobody showed up. Nobody came looking for me, even though I had like my rainbow sticker on. Maybe it was not great advertising, or maybe like they couldn't find me, but I was just sat at the bar by myself. I took out my rainbow stickers, put one on myself, and then these two people at the bar, they were siblings, Dan and Holly. Shout out Dan and Holly. They were like, "Why do you have stickers?" Um, and then I said, "I'm hosting a meetup, but nobody's here yet." And I think they felt a little bit bad for me, so they're like, "Oh, can we have a sticker?" And I put like the stickers on them. And then slowly started talking to other people at the bar, and they kind of helped me put stickers on them as well. And then all of a sudden, all these different people who were strangers were like talking to each other, and that's kind of when I realized that I had something there. Like that's when it kind of clicked that oh, like I like it was just through these stickers that people found connection and people like were able to talk to each other to break the ice. And how was I going with this? Yeah, so then I took my first photo, the first marketing photo. Nobody in that photo knew each other. Nobody intended to go to a queer meetup, but I used that photo to like get the ball rolling and to like kind of have that social proof that it was like a legit thing. You kind of have to fake it till you make it with like, these kinds of things. But eventually, like people actually did start coming, and it was only until like I posted about it on TikTok that it really like kind of blew up. So we went to having like maybe like 10 people per meetup to be 40-ish. And yeah, like I'm just really proud of what I've created.
Is there
And
one
yeah,
moment where you thought, okay, this is working. I'm doing something right?
I think it was like just after, well, I think it was when I got loads of comments on that TikTok video, my first TikTok video. I think people like really related to what I was saying. Because in that TikTok, I was talking about how after a year of being in London, I still had no gay friends. I think the struggle of like finding queer friendships in London is pretty relatable to a lot of people, especially people who are new to London. And yeah, like in the comments, there were so many people who were like, "Oh, this is a great idea. I'm going to join. I'm going to come." The first meetup after that, I think we had 40 people show up who had never even heard of the event before. And I was like, "Oh my God, this is crazy."
So this group it probably impacts in a positive way on people's mental health. It's
Mhm,
getting people out of their little bubble that sometimes we get caught up in, especially being new to a big city
mhm.
and not knowing anybody. What do you think the impact is? Have you seen friendships grow? Have you seen relationships happen? Have you seen like
Yeah.
all of that?
Yeah, I've seen people like go to each other's house parties, people go to the club together. One of my friends says that he's been to loads of different meetups, different queer meetups in London, and like mine has been the most successful so far in terms of how many friends he's managed to make from it. One of my first attendees for my event, he was like really shy, really soft spoken. And it's been so beautiful like seeing him like come out of his shell and be able to like talk to different people. And like he's a regular now. It's like so beautiful to see like especially people who kind of need that extra help and who kind of need that extra push. As a host, I think it's really important to look out for these types of people to make sure that I feel like I have to be really aware of people who might not be that confident and help them integrate into the community and to integrate and find friendships. I kind of have like a repertoire of job titles of the people who come to my meetup. And if like, oh my God, like you're a data scientist, come meet this data scientist. Or like, oh, you're in the arts industry, like come meet this person who's also in arts. I kind of don't really remember people's names. I'm not great with names, but I will remember like what they do and what kind of vibe they have. And yeah, I think as a host, you kind of need to be that bridge between people, not just to like advertise on social media, but to also like physically be there and help people like find each other.
How has this group changed you?
I feel like it's made me a lot more confident in my entrepreneurial skills. But I have like big ideas for what I want to do in the future. I want to be a tattoo artist. I feel like doing this, starting this from scratch, starting it from nothing, has made me more confident in my abilities to like completely start a new career. But I think it's also made me feel more connected to my community. I went from having like zero queer friends last year to like having like so many people around me and like being able to like talk to people about my problems, my experiences, and also having them vent to me. I think it's just as important to listen as it is to like be heard.
Yeah. What's the hardest part about keeping this group together?
The admin, content creation. I have to post in the WhatsApp group and on Instagram and also promote it on TikTok. Even though I'm a marketing manager in my real job, I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what to do, but it is just a lot of work. And my boyfriend has been like, you're doing so much. Like you're doing like, your tattooing, you're doing like your social group, you have like a full-time job. He's been he's been really good at helping me stay grounded and like being like he needed like kind of strip back all the needs to be more focused on what you really want to do. But I'm still doing my group for sure.
Yeah.
But maybe just focusing on the drinking club because I used to do art meetup. I used to do like a coffee meetup. And I think that was just a bit overly ambitious and stretching myself too thin.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to focus on the drinking club and my tattooing.
Do you find there's a difference between the host Omar and just Omar at home?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, usually, like on my way to the event, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. But then when I get there, I'm like turned on. Like, I think I get energized by people around me. I feel like when I'm being talked to and like when there's a chance to like get to know somebody, like I really like switch on. But then when I'm back home, I'm just like, no, 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 no. Yeah, I think, yeah, like People at my meetup say I'm like super extroverted, which I was like, am I? But I guess I do feel energized by people. So yeah, maybe. But I feel I've always been so shy throughout my life. I was really soft spoken as a child, but it was until I was in the drama club in my school that I kind of found my voice and like I was able to speak louder. I feel like I've always been a little bit like insecure talking to people, but I feel when I'm in my meetup zone, because I feel like I'm in control. I feel like I have a lot more confidence in that way. So maybe like that's another good thing about the meetup. It's made me more confident in my speaking skills.
What would your advice be to someone who has just moved to a new city? They're feeling alone. What's your advice to them? How do they go out and make friends?
There's so many events online that kind of cater to this. Like if you go on the Meetup app, like there are loads of meetups that you can find. There's art meetups, there's language learning meetups. I've been to a few of those, but I feel like what I was really looking for was a place where I could meet the same group of people over and over again and really form friendships. I feel like that was kind of like lacking online. I just started it myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's become very successful.
Yeah, filling a gap in the market.
What does the dream version of this drinking club look like in 5 years from now?
Being able to have a team who can like take over some of the tasks I'm doing. So like social media is like a big um like admin burden. Even though I think it's fun, but it does take time. Someone to like be kind of like a guardian of the meetup. One of my attendees, I think he doesn't want to be named, but like he's been like really good at like pointing out people who might be a little bit unscrupulous, people who might have negative energy, or people who are like super drunk. So like he points them out to me, and like he also helps me like get security involved. He's been like super useful at like helping the community feel safe. I didn't tell him to do that. He just does that on his own, and I'm really appreciative of it. I've also had another girl. Yeah, she wants to help do the coffee meetups, which I'm all for. I was like you burnt out to like start going to the coffee meetups, but like I feel like I feel like we could like restart it if like she gets involved. Yeah, I really want more female representation in the group. Uh, like I feel like women have been a bit burnt by like gays in the community. I feel like they might have had negative experiences with like men and they kind of like want to just decenter men, which I don't blame at all. Like, but what I said before, I think it is really important that we as a community like stand together and like help each other out.
What's a small step that somebody can just start to build a connection?
I think it's really a lot of trial and error. Like you really have to put yourself out there and not everybody that you meet will be your friends. Not everybody that you meet will be like a successful relationship, but you really just have to keep putting yourself out there. It's really a numbers game, I think. And eventually you will find someone who really understands you, who really like sees you for who you are. And like once you experience that, you'll know. So my advice would just be to keep putting yourself out there and the right person will come to you.
One gay icon you'd invite to your meetup.
I
I'd
what
Skevjet.
You took the words out of my mouth. Like if I met Lady Gaga, I think I could die happy. For real. She's been such a true ally of the community. She has always shown her support for the community, even when it was uncool. Back when when like one of my earliest memories of like realizing I was gay was like when I watched her talk about the don't ask, don't
Don't
tell.
ask, don't tell.
I saw a clip of her rallying against it, rallying against don't ask, don't tell. And that was the first time I've ever seen a celebrity speak out for the queer community. And seeing her do that, seeing like such a popular like icon support the community, even though like it didn't help her at all in the short run, was like just so inspiring. I think she really changed my life. I think one of her songs, Hair, I remember when I was in secondary school, and I was listening to that song on a bus, and I was being forced to cut my hair because of the school rules. You weren't allowed to have your hair touching your eyebrows, and I really related to that song because I just felt like I was being torn of my identity. I couldn't be myself, and that song really made me feel like I wasn't wrong and I wasn't a bad person for just wanting to have the hair I want to have. She's done so much for the community, and she's always talked about kindness as well. Like in a lot of interviews that I've seen of her, kindness has been a North Star for her. Just she's just so gracious and so kind and so loving that yeah, if I ever met her, I could die happy.
Shout out to Lady Gaga if you're
Shout out
listening
Gaga.
to this right now.
She's listening.
You need to come to the London meetup. I like to move into KevJet's quick fire questions.
Yeah,
Let's see,
go.
see how you can do. Soho or Shoreditch?
Soho. That's where the LGBTQ Drinking Club is.
Drag brunch or sweaty dance floor at 2 a.m.?
Sweaty dance floor. I've never been to a drag brunch actually. I'll need to try it.
Yeah, you should. It's great.
Yeah.
Take you. We'll do that sometime.
Oh my god, let's go.
Heels or harness?
Heels. I think they're more fun.
Your go-to coming out song?
Hair by Lady Gaga.
One word your friends use to describe your dating life?
Traumatizing. But that was in the past. I'm in a very happy relationship right now.
Text back instantly or leave them wondering?
Leave them wandering for like 5 minutes. I feel like if you're too like instant with your replies, it can create like an expectation that you're always available. Sometimes you just don't want to be always available. And that's what I learned from my bosses at work. Because my boss was like always available for her clients. Like her clients like expected her to always be available. And that's just not sustainable in the long run. So you have to protect your time.
Amen. Your worst fashion phase that you've gone through?
Skinny jeans, I guess. I feel like they're going to come back, though.
I have a feeling they are as well. Okay. One thing you wish straight people would understand more about gay life? What's your main character moment recently?
Main character moment. I'm planning like a career transition. I think it's going to be very dramatic. Actually, I just renounced my Singapore citizenship. I feel like that's kind of like dramatic. Nobody else, I feel like not many people can say that they've renounced their citizenship.
Definitely. What's more important, looks, vibe, or humor?
Vibe, I think. I think vibe can encapsulate both looks and humor. So maybe that's a cheating answer.
Group chat chaos or one-on-one deep chat?
One-on-one deep chat. I love a one-on-one deep chat. I love it when people like analyze me and help me become more self-aware. Like I think it's really important to like always be in the pursuit of like self-awareness.
Yeah. Morning after, regret or worth it?
Worth it. Live your best life. Yeah. I don't have many regrets. And I feel like if you don't really try things, then you won't know if they're good for you or not.
Agreed. One queer stereotype you fully live up to?
Like pots and pans music, like hyper pop. I was playing the stereotype is like don't give the gay person like the aux cord because they're gonna play pots and pans music. That was me on the ride to Norfolk last week.
Amazing. Finish this sentence. The gays are
messy. I think I said that the first time.
You did, and that's such an easy answer.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Like they're messy, but I love mess.
It's true. I mean, come on. It's more fun that way, isn't it?
Exactly.
Tell the listeners where the next meetup is, how people can get involved, and where they can find you.
So the next meetup is on the 28th of April at 7:15 p.m. Rupert Street Bar, Soho. We're probably going to be outside. So look for the people with the rainbow name tags. You can also follow us on LGBTQ Drinking Club on Instagram.
Amazing. Well, we shall put this out there and I will advertise all of the sites and all of the socials. And we'll see what we can do. But KevJet is going to be there at the next meetup.
Yeah, let's go. Really fun.
I can't wait. I said to you before, I had wished that I had found a group like this when I had first moved here. So all these years later, here you are, and I will be there.
Exciting. I'm sure you're gonna meet like plenty of new friends.
Amazing. I can't wait.
Yeah. Well, thank you
Uh,
for having me.
it was a great conversation. I'll speak to you soon.